Alright, I know I made a video about this already, but I wasn't quite done, and I think I'm done now. I was gonna walk you through one more time this electric cart that I built. It's a Gorilla cart, ordered on Amazon. It's got a 12 volt and a 24 volt system. It's got the 24 volts to run the 350 watt what's it called, gear reduction 24 volt motor, and the 12 volt system is to run a lot of other accessories. Just figured I'd kind of show it off, so if anybody wanted to kind of imitate it and make one of their own, they can kind of see the way I guess how I figured out, to come up with the end product here. But I'll go through everything again briefly. I know that I did it on another video, but this is a swivel type cart. I've got it Velcroed right here in the front for travel, so that doesn't fall and hit. But you can take this handle and you can pull it back and forth, and those front wheels they'll pivot, from the center. So it's pretty much a zero turn capability machine. I've got a headlight here. I've got a radio, a Pyle Marine radio here, and I've got an antenna right here. Also a hidden antenna at the bottom. It just wasn't picking up that great, so I added another antenna there because it was floppy. It won't hurt anything. I've got a little storage on the inside of the box here to hold a lot of clips and stuff to haul stuff or whatever. Going around the cart, let me just kind of show you what I got here. I've got on the side, I've got a toggle switch for the radio, got a toggle switch for the headlight, a toggle switch for a pump that pumps water out of this 2-gallon tank I've got mounted under the bottom here. You can't really tell, but anyhow, it pumps water out of that 2-gallon tank, and you can pump it out of this port. When I unscrew this, you can hook this hose on here, or you can just let it skeet out the side if you want to. Wash off your feet, wash off your, whatever you got. I can turn this button on here. The meter will come on, tell you how much voltage you got in your 24 volt system. I don't have one for the 12 volt. Don't know why, but didn't do it. I've got a couple Pyle speakers here, Marine speakers. This all came in a kit with the radio and the speakers. A key switch. I've got an inverter under the bottom here to run 120 volt items off of. 24 volt charge port. I don't know if I showed my 12 volt charge port right there. I've got a thing to plug cigarette lighters in. I've got a couple USB ports. These right here are brackets that I built for the 3D printer. Screwed them in. Those are legs. Don't necessarily have to have them. They're just for added support. You can tighten them up. If you look and see why, I've got a table here that I built on the side that you can flip over, and those legs slide in those slots right there, and they lock in the bottom. And but I added a couple spacers under the hinges here that allows it to pretty much sit flush. And I added a couple of let me let you see there, nice little custom little fun paint thing on there. A couple 3D printed brackets with a net that I used that used to hold volleyballs and stuff, or tennis balls, and I cut it and made cup holders out of it. So now when you're sitting at the beach, let's see, you can have your table sticking off the side. When you don't want it, you just take it and you flip it back over in there, and it's out of the way. I've thought about flipping it to the outside so that you wouldn't have to worry about anything. That may be an idea people want to do, but I kind of like it, the way it is. Actually, I guess that wouldn't work, would it? Let's see if you flipped it. Yeah, I guess you can flip it to the outside, but you won't be able to support it under the hinges like I've done here. Pretty much, I put a lot of weight. I've added a bunch of paint cans and stuff on there. It holds the weight actually without even having braces, legs and stuff, so that works out pretty good. But anyhow, moving on around, I've cut a plate to go in the bottom on the plasma cutter. I measured everything out, custom fit, shape to go in the bottom there. Put them cup holders back up, push them back in. That's what I wanted, everything collapsible so it wouldn't take up a lot of room. Moving on around, I just thought about this the other day. I 3D printed a bracket to hold a pump. And this pump is actually, all the wires in the bottom of this box. You can pull this out and it actually will extend out, and you can just push the wire back in as you go if you need it to come out to you. I've also got a lot of extra wire bundled on the side here, and it runs off of this controller here that actually controls the solar panel, which feeds the 12 volt system here. It's my 12 volt battery system. You look, I've got even welded a hitch plate and all on the bottom, so you can pull stuff if you need to, and whatever. But if you look under the bottom here, I've got, let me see if I can light it up for you. I've got the the 24 volt system under there. Everything's fused. I've got a fuse block under the front. Everything's running too. But like I said, you can blow up your toys or whatever you want while you're on the beach. Sorry, I didn't know I was zoomed in so far. Moving on around, this was just added today. Stand it up. I've got a chair holder made out of PVC. I was going to make it out of metal, but what I've got here is a piece of metal pipe welded to the machine, and I've got a pin here to keep that bottom pipe from turning. And what I do is I actually just I put a pipe in here and stopped it about right here, and I can pull this one up and off of the other pipe, but it's sticking down in that pipe about that much, so that gives it the sturdiness it needs. So what I can do is when we get ready to travel, I can twist this off, lay it down, and these arms will actually flip under the bottom of the cart, and I can strap it to the side, and the other arm will go across and be hanging in here. But I left this 90 loose right here so I can twist it around, that way it lines up straight with the cart, so it's not sticking out into the thing. I'm sorry, it'll line up and go down, I believe. But I got a solar panel here to keep the 12 volt system charged up. Coming around, I've got I keep flipping the phone. I apologize. It's just easier for me because I'm in odd angles here. A bunch of bungee straps on the side just in case you need them. Why not? I have bought them in a pack. I said in my last video I was going to come up with a new way to strap this down, so I just welded a couple nuts on the side of the cart here, hooked these bungees onto it, went up under the bottom, and I've got them connected to a couple holes under there. You can see this tank now a little bit better. I can actually pull this tank out whenever I need to, take the bungees loose, pull it out, fill it up, slide it back in, ready to go. It, like I said, holds about 2 gallons. There's a water pump sitting right here to pump out of it that pumps over to the other side, and there's my fuse block right there. Trying to think if I'm missing. Oh yeah, one more final feature here. This has been a job. I am done, hopefully. I've got the umbrella holder here. I just took a couple of wing nuts, slid them up on, got the bolts that were too small for the wing nuts, slid the wing nuts up to the top, welded them around the edge so that I actually have a screw that's wing nut type. You know, you probably could order those, but I didn't have any, so I didn't do it. But yeah, anyhow, I've got I don't know if I showed that or not. I got a thumb throttle on here for the, speed. I used to have this thing just on a speed controller, and you could just rotate it, and it actually went a lot faster than it does now. I don't know what the deal is with the controller that's on the motor itself that I installed on here, but apparently it slows it down some. But it's okay. It doesn't need to go fast. It's going to the beach anyways. So sorry, wiping all that off. But yeah, so this motor is a 350 watt 24 volt gear reduction motor. It's not going to be like a lightning bolt, going across the sand or anything, which is what you want. You want something that's going to have more torque. And it hauls me. I had one of my coworkers get in it. It hauled him, no problem.